Okay, this time we're in the Mixolydian mode, which is based on the dominant 7 scale. We're going to do it in the key of G, and I'm going to play a G7 chord, and just to spice it up slightly, I'm going to take the third and raise it to a fourth to make a G7 suspended or G suspended 7 briefly. On this backing track, you'll hear me playing the organ. And then I'm going to go to a C7 and also just raise the third to a fourth and back. So the whole groove will be like. To give it a little bit of spice. And you may recall that there's only one dominant 7 chord in the diatonic series. If we play the C diatonic series, C major, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, A minor, B diminished, and play the 7th chords, major 7, minor 7, minor 7, major 7, dominant 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 5 chord is the only dominant 7 chord in the series, which means it has a major third, 1, 3, 5, but a flat 7. So this progression has 2 dominant 7 chords, which is a very, very common thing in blues and rock, but it's not considered a diatonic progression because one diatonic series doesn't have 2 dominant chords. So this is a kind of a special case. We can't just play one 7-note scale that works over both chords. We're going to have to change it up a bit. But we can do some other interesting things. One interesting thing about a dominant 7 chord is it has this tritone between the flat 7 and the major 3. So in the key of G, it would be 3rd fret of D and 4th fret of G. That's your tritone. One from here, up a whole step, or one tone, another tone. 3 tones makes a tritone, and as you can hear, it's a very dissonant interval. And it has that interval inside of this chord. And for some reason it works. And then the C7 also has another tritone in there. Well, as a result, you can do all sorts of stuff over a flat dominant 7 chord. For example, over G dominant 7, because it has a major third, we can play the major pentatonic. You remember the major pentatonic sounds like My Girl. Bum, bum, ba, ba, da, bum, because it has the major third. But the interesting thing is we can also play the minor pentatonic over the G dominant 7th chord. Even though the minor pentatonic has a minor third, for some reason it still works. So the chord has a major third, but I think it's because of this tritone that has so much dissonance that we can get away with playing this minor third. Okay, let's play the backing track as before, and I'll hum a note and see if you can hum it, and then we'll find it on the neck. It's just one note. Can you hum it? La, 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 la. Well, where's the note? And what scale degree is it? So we're in G. Here's a G, 5th fret of D string. Play up the scale, do, re, mi, 1, 2, 3. So there's the note that I was humming. It's a major third in G. So where would the minor third be in G? Just a half step down from it, of course. So as I said before, sometimes you can play the minor third over G and it still works. Let's make it a little bit harder than just one note. Da-dum-ba, ba-bum-ba. Can you hum that? Bum, bum, ba, bum, bum, ba. Okay, can you find it on the neck? Da. Where's that note? Ba. Okay, here it is on the 5th fret of the A string. That's a D note. That's the 5th of a G scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But let's play it up here an octave higher. Sometimes I'll sing ba, but we'll play da. A little bit hard for me to sing that. And then it goes da, 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 bum, 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 bum. Well, hopefully you can detect what a whole step or a whole tone, they call in Europe, or 2 frets sounds like da, da. So 1st finger, 3rd finger on the 3rd and 5th frets, na, na, na. Now a little bit smaller jump, which is the half step. Frets 3, 5, 6, da, 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 3, 5, 6 frets. Let's play that over the backing track. Try some different rhythm, etc. Maybe put a little vibrato on the end there. Maybe slide into it. A couple of slides with one finger. Hammer on there. Let's do it backwards. I did 2 pull-offs. Or you could do a slide and then a pick. Change the rhythm. Make it a little syncopated. Here's the next one. Can you hum it? Okay, where do we play it? Da, da, da. Hopefully you can identify that the last note is a root. We're playing it in G. Da, 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 da. So we're going to start up a minor third above the root. Here's the root on the top E, 3rd fret. Da, da, da. If we do a double pull-off, 4th finger to 3rd finger to 1st finger. Jim Campolongo likes to say, pull off 4th finger to the waiting 3rd finger, pull off to the waiting 1st finger. Those are already on the fingerboard. And then bum, ba, ba, bum. Now we have a bigger jump. Ba, bum, ba, bum. That's a jump of a minor third down. Da, da, to the 5th fret of the B. So the whole lick. Double pull off. Da, da, pick, pick. Can you play that? Let's try it with the track. Slower. fast. Back to the sixth on the end there. Try it. Try it like this. So I went back up to that 2, then the root. Like that. Do the pull-offs right in a row. Do it fast like that. Something good to know, you can do it on the string right below it, the lower sounding B string. You can do the same exact shape. Here's one more. Can you hum that? Or whistle it? Can't whistle too well. Na 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 na. Try to play it on the guitar. Ba starts on that note. Bum ba. Hopefully you can tell what a fifth sounds like now. Ba da da dum ba. 1 2 3 4 5. 5 1 5 1. Sounds like oh wee oh. 1 ba starts on a fifth. Ba. Here's the fifth. On the 5th fret of the A string. Bum, 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 boom, bum. This time we're going to use the major pentatonic across the neck shape. If you remember that. Bum, 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 boom, bum. Here's the lick. Start with my little finger, 5th fret A string. 2nd fret of D string with 1st finger, 5th fret D, little finger, and I slide 2nd finger, 3rd to 4th fret to the, on the G string to the 3rd fret B string, 1st finger. Boom, bam, boom, boom, bam. Very useful thing to know how to do. Can you play that? Bum, 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 bum. Let's try it with the track. Bum, 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 boom, a little faster is better. Vibrato on the end. You can end on this major third. And on a root there. Let's try another one. La da da da. Be-de-do-do. An octave lower. Da 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 da. La da da da. Can you hum it? La da da da. Okay, where's that first note? Da. Well, here's the G major scale. That's the note I started on. What interval is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's a 6. So that's one of the kind of jazzier intervals. It's not a 1 or 3 or a 5. Chord tones there. Da-da. How far down? Da-da-da. 2 frets, a whole step. Da-da-da. da, 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 da. There's that blue note. So blue notes are the notes kind of in between two notes, and you find them on places like the minor third stretching a minor third. So that's what it is. Kind of a quarter step stretch. So we've got intervals 6, 5, flat 3, down to a root. So the fifth of the scale and the flat 3 are both on the 3rd fret, first finger. So you have to kind of roll your finger there. You don't really want that to ring. You could. Yeah, up to you. Okay, so frets 5, 3, 3, 5. Let's try this with the track. Try it. Try stopping on the blue note. Little vibrato. Up and down like that. Make a little variation of your own. Play up it. Alrighty, next one. This one is to kind of demonstrate a principle. That's a little bit hard for me to sing. Bum, over the G7. Da, da, da. Where's that note? Da. Where's the scale? Da, 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 da. Well, this scale has a flat 7, not the major 7. Da, 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 da. So this is the flat 7. Da, ba. Where's that note? Da, da, 1, 2, 3. That's a 3rd. So we're going from the flat 7 to the 3rd. That's the tritone. That's the kind of the dissonant interval. Da, da, da. And then I did this. Da, da, da. So now we're in C7. 1, 2, 3. There's the 3rd of C. And maybe your ear can hear I'm still singing a tritone. Da, da, da. I call it the French police car. Very dissonant. Bum, bum, bum. So you can see what's happening. We've got this tritone from the G7 chord, and if you can play a C7 like this, we have the tritone here. So in the G7 chord, it's the flat 7 in the major 3rd, and in the C7 chord, it's reverses. Now we've got a 3rd on the bottom and a flat 7 on top. So that's something unique to this sort of chord progression, which is very common. A dominant 7-1 chord, another dominant 7-4 chord. And so this tritone in the G just goes down a half step to the C7. By the way, if you're in a band and you're just playing rhythm, you can take advantage of this fact because it's the 7 and the 3 that give the chord its essential sound, and you kind of want to stay away from roots and fifths because those are strong intervals that the bass player is probably going to be playing. So you could comp like this. Just play two notes. Two notes. You can play the same two notes up here. 4th and 6th fret of G and B, or you can play it up here an octave above this, which comes from these chords. All right, just wanted to point out how with a dominant 7-1 and a dominant 7-4 chord, you get these tritones that are just a half step apart. On the 4th fret and 6th fret of B to the 3rd and 5th fret of B is to kind of invert them. And then up on the 6th and 7th fret of B and E strings to the 5th and 6th. A couple more easy ones. Da da da. Can you hum that? Ba da da. And that one. Dum da dum. Da da da. Okay, so over the G chord, it was da. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the 5th of the scale, and I'm thinking of this one, 3rd fret of B string would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That 5th of G. Da da da. Yep, it's up and down a whole step. Just slide up and down like that. I'm using my second finger, whatever one you want to use. That was over the G chord. Then over the C dominant 7, C7 chord, da da da. Well, I took it up a 4th, da, from G. Up a 4th is same fret. Da 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 da. So why did I want you to sing that? Because you can do this. So if we just take this interval of a 6th, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, this would be a major 6th interval. I've got my second finger on the 3rd fret of the D, 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the B, and then I slide it up and down a whole step. So that is just taking the flat 7 and the 5th out of a G7 chord, sliding up to a root here and up to a 6 here. And it sounds great over a G7. And then to go to the C7 chord, same thing, a flat 7 of C and a 5th of C, sliding up and down just the same way. Let's try it. Try that. Then over C. Okay, you try. Over G, up a 4th. Over C. Change the timing a little bit. Try it. Down, down, down. Down, down, down. All right, the last thing I want to tell you about playing over this kind of a chord progression, two dominant seventh chords. One way to approach it is to play the dominant 7 scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, flat 7, root, also known as the Mixolydian scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, flat 7, over the G chord. But because this is not a diatonic progression, we can't play that same scale over the C chord, but we can play the C dominant scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, flat 7, over C. That's a little bit hard to think about while you're jamming on stage sometimes, so an easier way to think about it that I use, there's just one note different. So if you just take the major 3 from the G dominant scale and you flat it to like it's minor. So here's a major 3rd in G. Here's a G minor 7, only one note difference. So here's G dominant scale, or Mixolydian, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, flat 7, root. So just take that major 3rd and flat it, 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, 6, flat 7, root. And what that gives you is the G Dorian scale, or G Dorian mode. That's G Dorian, and G with the major 3rd is G Mixolydian. So if you want to play an 8-note scale, you can just remember over the 4 chord, the C chord, play that note instead of that note. Let's try it. Okay, start G now. Okay, again over the G. Oops, sorry. And then over the C, we're going to play that note instead. Here it comes. G, C, C, there's the major 3rd, thinking of as a minor 3rd. Okay, hopefully you get the point there, that over G, you can play the major 3rd, and over C, you can play the minor 3rd of G, which is the same as the flat 7 of C. Alrighty, hope you got something out of it. I'll see you next time around.